For removing the ECU from the 2025 Yamaha R9, these are all I needed. It was a 5mm Allen head T-handle, 4mm Allen head T-handle, a short little stubby Phillips screwdriver, and just this flat blade screwdriver to help with releasing the fuel line. That's it. Pretty simple.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and whatever you prefer. Going to make a little video on how to take out the ECU on your Yamaha R9 so you can send me that ECU and get my awesome flash. Yeah, so this is an R bike, right? So it's a little bit more complicated than the MT-09, but I'll take you through it step by step. Try to ease that little bit of apprehension or nervousness that maybe you have about taking out the ECU. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this stuff off the back. So we're going to take the seat off first with the key, and then we'll go through all the processes. Once you take the seat off, we're just going to remove this little panel so we can get to the screws that hold down the front seat. And Yamaha has done these nice little ones, these little plastic push pins, and you can literally just pull them with your nail. A lot easier, way better than the ones that have the Phillips little head in the middle of them. And I like them better than the ones where you push in the center and then pop them out. So we'll see how these hold up over time, but so far I like them. And once you pull those two screws out, this little piece just moves out. I'm gonna put my phone down so I can pull it off, but it just pulls up and out. Once the plastic cover is off, then you can just remove the two 5mm Allen heads, and I'd like to use the T-handle. These aren't too tight. Make sure when you put it back on, if everything's right, these holes line up perfectly and you won't have to push it and you won't strip them out. Over the years, I've seen a lot of people strip these bolts out because they try to push the seat on and they might have something underneath of it, doesn't quite line up, and then they'll strip these out. And the seat is something you take on and off a lot if you work on your bike. So protect those bolts. They should go in really easy. Never force them, and so don't strip them. So now that we've gained access to the back of the tank, we need to gain access to the side of the tank. And to do that, unfortunately, I have found that removing this really requires moving the lower, which is 3 bolts. And whenever I make these videos, there's always somebody that comes up with, and hey, you don't have to really remove this and don't remove that. I'm always going to err on the side of removing more things just because I've had bad experiences in the past when I try to cut corners and save a minute and it ends up costing me 5 or I damage something. And this is a customer's bike also, so of course I'm going to be extra careful. So we're going to pull the bottom 3 bolts on each side of the lower and remove the lower. Now that the lower's off, I'm going to pull this inside cover, and there's just 2 of those. Put your nail in, pull out the pins, and then this will lift off. When you go to take this off, there is that big post that goes into that rubber grommet, so you're going to have to pull it. It's always a little nervous in your brand new bike pulling on something, so you're going to pull it from that back corner, and then it will just kind of pull off once you have those 2 little push pins off in the front, and we're going to put this out of the way so we don't step on it. The next thing I'm going to remove is what I would consider this mid side panel. This is 2 separate pieces. There's a bolt here, there's a bolt here, and then on the back side are those push pins. So I like to take this side of my Allen head, push in the center, you hear them pop, and then they will pull fully out. And then I almost forgot everybody's favorite. You got the Phillips in the middle. If you press really lightly and just turn, it should slowly back out, and then you can pull it out. If you have to, take a screwdriver and put it under there to hold the outside, and then turn the inside out, and you will find that it does pull out, and then you can pull it and pull that side fairing. One more hidden bolt right here. Make sure you remove that. The side fairing is now off. You do have another one of those posts that go into a rubber grommet, and you do have these almost like automotive style little clips that clip into here and here. So you will have to pull it from up here. And again, I know this is nerve-wracking, but as long as you have all the bolts off that I showed, this is ready to come off. We are now going to remove 2 bolts off of this other side fairing. There's one here, and then there's one kind of hidden under here, and we will pull them. And I think that should give us enough room to pull this out of the way and get to the bolt that's right about there. It's still tighter than I like to try to pull it, so we're going to remove this and these two. Just give it a little more play and allow it to move up out of the way of that bolt. Now that I have all those bolts that I've shown out of this side fairing, I'm able to move it up or pull it out of the way and get clear access to the side tank bolt. So there's a side tank bolt here, one on the other side, one on the front, and the 4 in the back. I'm going to start with taking them all out, and then I'll show you what it looks like underneath the tank to unplug everything. Just to make it a little easier to see things and that I don't mess anything up, I'm going to take these little side covers off of both sides too. It's just one bolt, and then it pulls back and off. So the fuel line is something that a lot of times gives people fits, but it's really pretty easy. If you just take your flat blade screwdriver and you lift up the back of the tank, you can get to this little clip and put it in there and turn it, and you'll hear it clip down, and then the line will pull right off. You may get a couple drips of gas, but it won't run out. It self-closes or whatever. So you get a couple drips, but nothing major. Then there's just the vent lines and the electrical plug. You just squeeze the middle of it, pull it down, and you can unplug it. But like I said, the fuel line is what usually gives people fits. And just take that screwdriver from the back, twist it, you'll hear it, you'll see it move down, it'll click, and then the fuel line will pull right off. And the tank is off, yay! And I'm staring at my ECU. And here are my 2 vent lines. So these clamps, you just squeeze them, you reach, it was easier to reach from that side. Reach under, squeeze them, pull them down, and then they pull straight off. On the ECU, is a little different holding in, right, than the MT-09, if you're familiar with that. That just kind of pulled out. So just going to pull these 4 screws, pull the ECU out, and then we'll be good to go. You can see the airbox looks the same as the 24 MT-09, and lots of similarities between the two. All right, folks, we're almost there. These 2 brackets that were holding it down were removed. I'm just going to pull these lines out of here, out of the airbox, to make it a little easier to swing up out of the way, and then I'll show you how to undo those plugs. So I pulled the lines out of here. It was really easy with 2 hands. And now I'm just going to unplug the ECU, and it'll be totally out. So these are pretty simple, and I think most people figure them out. You just squeeze them in the middle and push up. The one that people struggle with is this one. And there's a little tab in the middle that if you press down, then that bar swings up out of the way. I'll try to do it again. So you just press the middle here, swing bar up out of the way, and it comes off. So you can see the bar, the little lock tab that keeps the bar from swinging. So once you press that down, the tab bar will swing up out of the way. And now you have ECU in your hand to ship to me. So put all your parts. I'm going to put the tank back on so I don't kick it or create any havoc. And yeah, you got it. You can do it. You can do it. Just take your time. It's a little intimidating, but if you just take your time, don't stress about anything. If something gets to be too much, walk away and come back. You're not doing this for a living. You're doing this to have fun and to get your bike to run better. It'll be well worth it in the end. Thanks, guys, for watching. Remember to subscribe and the like button for more motorcycle-related content. Lots of R9 content will be coming your way from my channel. Appreciate y'all.